I held a secret so burdensome it could extinguish a flame. It wasn't etched on a page or whispered in shadows. It throbbed in the moisture on my hands, in the irregular beat of my heart as car lights glided over my pain. I believed I could bury it indefinitely, conceal it with a casual gesture and a chuckle. But that night, as the phone vibrated, I sensed the embers reviving, ready to consume me entirely. My name is Lucas. I reside in a modest apartment on Pinewood Drive, where evenings seem stark, lamps blinking through sheer drapes, the buzz of a heater sputtering warmth. That night I lingered by my cooker, mixing a bowl of broth, the vapor twisting like specters. I scribbled a reminder on a tissue. Lights Cleaner Mailing Center. Basic errands, yet mailing center hung like a thunderhead. My heartbeat raced, though I couldn't identify the cause, not immediately. The atmosphere felt dense, as if existence was preparing for conflict. I'd arisen to a vacant message folder. No messages from my stepmom, Karen, or her sibling, Mitch. That ought to have relaxed me, but it failed too. Their silence served as an alert, like the stillness prior to a spark exploding. The device shook on the surface, abrupt at 6:43 p.m. My gut knotted. I dried my palms on a kitchen cloth, slipped the tissue into my pouch, and viewed the display. Karen's identifier. I picked up, her tone overly slick, like grease on liquid. "Lucas, we're in the area," she stated. "Do you object if we stop by? It's critical." Before I could respond, the connection ended. Shortly after, a rap echoed on my entrance. Through the spy hole, I noticed Karen's strained grin, rehearsed like a leader's. Mitch towered at her rear, clutching a dull valise, his gaze surveying my corridor as if appraising the surfaces. I unlatched the portal, and Karen entered swiftly, her shoes tapping on the flooring. "We won't linger," Mitch declared, his cologne potent enough to irritate my senses. I assented, my neck constricted. Merely a call, I assured myself. But my digits skimmed the hem of my coat, where I'd hidden something tiny, something I'd assembled beneath the light of a table fixture. Karen settled on my sofa, folding her limbs as if she commanded the space. Mitch placed the valise on the low table, his joints wrapping the metallic fastener. "Just a few papers," he mentioned, his manner overly casual, as if presenting me tea rather than confinement. I eyed the valise, then Karen. Her gaze avoided mine, darting to the warmer, the timepiece, any spot except me. I retreated, murmuring about fetching a beverage. In my sleeping quarters, I accessed my table compartment beneath a pile of invoices. I located it, a closed brown packet, my script dashed over it, addressed to Mr. Ellis. My revelation, my shield. I tucked it into my coat and came back, my strides firm but my torso thumping. Karen unfastened the valise, exposing a bundle of sheets. "It's simple, Lucas," she explained, indicating the uppermost page. "Endorse here and we'll resolve the chaos. Spare you the trouble." Mitch inclined forward, his palm brushing my arm, his hold just strong enough to create a lingering soreness. "Fewer complications for you," he added, but his focus was on Karen, anticipating her cue. I examined the document. At the summit in bold characters, "Permission for representative." My respiration halted, but I maintained my expression composed. I'd encountered this previously, ages past, following Dad's mishap. Karen had assisted then, overseeing his finances, endorsing papers I hadn't scrutinized, resulting in a depleted reserve fund. I was innocent then, reliant, not anymore. "I must review it," I stated, my speech steady despite the blaze in my blood. Karen's grin faltered briefly. "No reason to make it complex," she replied, her inflection harsher. Mitch's clasp strengthened. I shook him away, rising. "I'll fetch my opener." In my sleeping quarters, I didn't seek an opener. I sought my coat, my fingers grazing the packet. My scheme was delicate, but it belonged to me. I'd composed the memo 3 weeks prior after Mitch's prior appearance, when his offhand push caused a mark on my arm. I'd realized then they were encroaching. I reappeared, coat donned. Karen was already at the entrance, my vehicle opener in her grasp. "I'll operate it," she announced, not inquiring. I concurred, gripping my coat more securely. "Let's proceed," I uttered, but my phrase was for myself. The mailing center was a quarter-hour journey, but it seemed endless. Karen occupied the quiet with chit-chat, roadways, a fresh eatery, a discount on wheels. Her tone was excessively cheerful, as if attempting to douse the facts. Mitch occupied the forward seat, the valise on his knees, his digits tapping the borders. I occupied the rear, my coat weighty, the packet within it simmering. At a halt marker, Mitch pivoted, his stare piercing mine. "You're prolonging this," he murmured, his sound subdued, intended solely for me. I gazed outward, observing a child pedaling a cycle along the path. His existence appeared so straightforward, so unbound. We arrived at the mailing center area, the stone structure low beneath the dusk heavens. Karen unlatched my portal before I could, her palm lingering close to my limb. "Watch out, Lucas," she cautioned as if I were fragile. I emerged, my coat near. Within, the mailing center reeked of pigment and aged rug. A worker looked up, his label crimson, Sam, and his sight dwelled on the subtle mark on my arm, a remnant from Mitch's clasp days earlier. His forehead creased, but he remained silent. Karen directed me to a station, Mitch at my opposite flank, their aura like barriers converging. Karen positioned the valise down, pushing a writing tool into my grasp. "Endorse it, Lucas," she instructed, her sound hushed, all kindness vanished. Mitch bent nearer, his exhalation warm against my lobe. One endorsement, and it's concluded. My pulse pounded, but I remained still. I'd rehearsed this, tallied the moments in my thoughts. 1, 2, 3. My dread didn't vanish, but it softened sufficiently to inhale. I fixated on the tool, its mass unfamiliar in my grasp. My thoughts surged. Evenings devoted to scheming, the packet in my coat, the phrases I'd inscribed in obscurity. I couldn't waver. Not at this point. A gentleman neared, his ash attire neat, his emblem stating Mr. Ellis, mailing supervisor. He beamed, but his gaze examined me, investigating. "Let's examine these in my workspace," he proposed, his tone stable yet resolute. Karen agreed, enthusiastic, but I observed the strain in her nape. In his workspace, Mr. Ellis gestured to the seats. Karen positioned nearby, thrusting the writing tool into my grasp once more. Mitch's palm located my arm, his digits pressing deeply. "Just endorse," he grumbled, his cologne suffocating the environment. Mr. Ellis extended his palm for the valise. "I'll have to duplicate these," he indicated. I perceived my opportunity. I delved into my coat, my fingers skimming the packet. "Here's my identification," I offered, pushing it over the surface, the packet concealed below. Mr. Ellis's gaze connected with mine momentarily. No utterances, but I sensed it, a hint of awareness. He accepted the collection and exited the area. Karen inclined nearer, her tone a whisper. "You're nearly finished, Lucas," but I wasn't, not quite, Mr. Ellis came back, his countenance impartial. He placed the valise down and regarded me. "Lucas, I must converse with you privately, mailing protocol." Karen chuckled, abrupt and belittling. "He doesn't require solitude. I'll remain." Mr. Ellis didn't flinch. "It's mandatory. Please depart." Mitch's hold intensified, then loosened, his grin slender as thread. They departed, the portal latching closed. Mr. Ellis bent ahead, his tone subdued. "I perused your memo." My respiration ceased. The packet, the phrases I'd penned. "They're attempting to seize everything. I'm in danger. Please assist." "Are you under coercion?" he inquired. "Yes," I murmured. "Do you comprehend these documents grant them authority over your finances and possessions?" "Yes." "Do you sense secure with them?" I shook my head. "No," he assented, lifting his device. "This is Mr. Ellis, Pinewood Mailing. I possess a client in distress. Presumed deceit. Dispatch authorities." The space shifted. Steps resounded externally. Karen and Mitch re-entered, oblivious until 2 authorities arrived. I lifted my cuff, displaying the mark. "Mitch caused this," I declared, my tone firm now, and then the revelation burst forth. "There's additional," Mr. Ellis stated. "Lucas established a safeguard last month. His resources are secured. His relative, Owen, is joint overseer. These documents, they're invalid." Karen's expression crumbled, her dominance obliterated. Mitch's palms quivered, his facade disintegrating. The authorities led them away, their sounds diminishing into the drone of the mailing center. I remained seated, palms trembling but liberated. Owen collected me subsequently, his calm fortitude a support. At residence, I composed a fresh reminder. Bolts, surveillance, liberty. I'd interred my secret in cinders. Vulnerable but unscathed. Now I ponder.